What's up, sports fans, and welcome to another episode of Insights from the Locker Room.
Episode Trace.
I am your host, Derek Dennis. We are here with a special guest today. I got my co-host here, Tyler Johnstone.
What's going on, everybody? Today, like Derek said, we have a special guest, Jordan Kipper. What's going on, Jordan?
Nah, not much. Just super pumped to be on here.
Yeah, we figured we switch it up this week because we did a lot of football talk the first two. So we did a little something mix up for the baseball fans out here, and we got... I hear the nastiest fastball on the West Coast right here, my man Jordan Kipper.
Jordan Kipper.
I don't know if I call it the nastiest, but it's probably up there.
Ooh, it's up. That's a self-suck fine. That is a self-suck.
That's all right. That's all right. I'll take that.
So how fast do you think you throw? What's fastest fastball ever? What's the fastest you've ever recorded?
Mine probably 93, but
Ooh,
but
that's nasty.
I'm probably usually around 88, 89, 90 in that
Okay.
range. More of a finesse, throwing sinkers up there.
What is like what speed like? 'Cause I'm not gonna act like I'm super familiar with what is exactly considered like elite in terms of baseball. But what is like an elite fastball? Like what speed is that?
Elite 95 plus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
you throwing 93? You pretty much.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm throwing 93 all the time, but
on a good day.
I mean, maybe on a good day, maybe once a season, a couple times a season, maybe.
So Jordan, tell the people a little something about where you come from, where'd you go to school, like your journey in a sense to you get into playing baseball.
Yeah, so just grew up playing baseball my entire life. Kind of just runs in the family. I born and raised in Arizona here. Went to
AZ boy.
Oh yeah. After high school, went to junior college for 2 years. And then I went to Texas Christian University for one season where I got drafted.
With the Horn
TCU.
Frogs.
Oh yeah,
Horn Frogs.
New Jerseys. Go check them out. Let's see. Got drafted by the Los Angeles Angels. Played there for 3 seasons, and then got traded to the Baltimore Orioles, where I'm at currently.
Okay.
Oh, nice, man.
That's solid.
That's solid.
So you got drafted. What round were you drafted in that?
7th round.
All right. How old?
Or no, 9th round. 9th round. My
round?
bad. Yeah.
How many rounds is in in MLB draft?
40.
Golly.
Yeah. So
how does that break down?
Back in 2011 was the last year. There was 50 actually, and that's when you could kind of do like first round picks where you're signing for an absurd amount of money.
Yeah.
And then after that is when they went to the kind of a slot system, similar to what football's got.
Yeah.
So like if you're drafted like 10th overall, then you're probably gonna make this money, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So since there's so many goddamn rounds, because I had no clue there's so many rounds. What rounds are considered like? Because like in football, you got the first, second, third rounders are the guys who normally probably gonna
first
have a
round
chance
takes up one day,
you know what I'm saying?
second
Go
and
straight
third
to the
day
big
2
leagues and play right away.
Yeah.
Later round guys are developmental type, and then you got your undrafted guys. So like, what rounds in baseball is more like guys that you know is gonna go straight to the big leagues, and the guys that got to go into the lower levels like the minors.
Yeah, so usually I would say where you're going to find your guys is probably in the top 10 rounds. I mean, not to say that after that, obviously, you can't, but I guess the numbers would say that they're slimmer for you.
Well, yeah, undrafted.
Yeah,
guys make
but,
it. But
like, I mean, realistically, I would probably say the best chance is either guys drafting the first 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, I'd probably say they drastically drop off.
So how does so in the NFL, you have your rounds, and everybody talks about, and we were talking about this earlier, you and I. If you're drafted in the NFL, you're slotted, and everybody talks about your salary. Okay, let's say you're drafted 2nd round. Well, they signed him for like $2 million with a $500,000 signing bonus, right? And that $2 million part of that contract is going to be paid out every game for those 4 years that they're signed. Yeah. So how does it work in baseball?
So the numbers that you probably hear like on TV or whatever or on the internet, that's all signing bonus. So, if you get
So they say somebody's drafted for like 10 mil.
Yeah, that's all
just
signing
a sign.
bonus.
They signed 10 mil.
Yeah.
So that's not even contract.
No, that's not. That's just all signing bonus.
What? I played the wrong sport.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
So then, I think the first overall pick is usually in the range of 6 to 7 million for a signing bonus, but I think the thing that most people don't understand is that once you get into season, especially in the minor leagues, you're not making a whole lot of money. So
what do you mean?
Well,
Like, let's say you're drafted. Let's say you're a second round draft pick, first in the second round. So let's say you're making what? What do you think that would make?
like for signing bonus.
Yeah, signing bonus.
Yeah, probably first few picks in the second round, you might be getting in that like low millions.
All right, and so
probably close to $1 million.
So like they get close to $1 million for the signing bonus, and then what happens after that? Where do they go?
Yeah, so like I was telling you earlier, and rookie ball, my first season after I got drafted, I think I was probably making $900,000 a month.
That's like college. That is like college stipend. Hold on. So what did you sign for?
I signed for 147, I believe it was 145.
So 145,000.
Yeah.
And then you were making in the minors, so rookie season. So how? Well, first off, how do the ranks go? So it goes rookie.
So like when you get drafted, you either go rookie ball usually.
Okay.
And then you got low A, high A, which is your A ball.
Yeah.
And then double A, triple A, big leagues.
Okay, so you got to make it through all those ranks. So you got paid like 145, we'll say, off the bat, straight to sign it.
Yeah, I
and then you were making
2 installments.
Okay, 2 installments.
Yeah,
that's smart.
Might as well. And then you were making only $900.
I was probably making $900 to $1,000 a month.
Holy shit!
God,
holy shit!
McDonald's workers get paid more.
Yeah. So
they do.
And then this past season, I think I made $1,800 a month.
Okay, where are you at right now?
That was in Double A.
Okay, so you're in Double A right now with still feeding for the Orioles.
Yeah, with the Orioles.
With the Orioles. Damn, I didn't realize that there was that much discrepancy between.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So does it go up when you go up like from Double A to Triple A?
Yeah, like the levels you go up, the pay goes up. But I mean, it's probably only a couple $100.
So because he was saying like rookie. So in rookie ball, you're making $900 to $1,000. You're in Double A making like $1,800 a month.
Yeah.
Is there any other like anything else like off season wise keep you around? Like any other like off season bonus or anything?
I mean, there's no off season pay. You're just kind of either. I mean, if you're able to, you're just saving up money.
Yeah. How many weeks?
How many months games you play a month?
Let's see. We go from April 4th or 5th maybe till September 4th or 5th.
Damn. So you're only getting those
6 months.
So $1,800 a month for 6 months. So really, you got to get.
I mean, you're making.
How many games you play?
140.
Fuck!
I'm telling you.
Wait!
You're paying 140 games and they're only paying you $1,000 a month?
$1,800 if you're a Double A. How much in Triple A? Like, if you're one of those guys that are on the brink of being in the show, how much do you think you're getting paid?
Well, like, so if I go up there, I'm probably making like $2,000, maybe $2,100 a month.
So that breaks down to like what is that? What is April till?
6?
Yeah, we'll say 6 months. I don't even know how I want to do that.
6 months?
Yeah, 6 months.
So 6 months.
About 13 grand?
Jeez.
I mean, yeah, so either, I mean, like
that's like 6 months is like 24 grand ish. So you're really only getting paid like.
I mean, it's like 12, probably 12, 13 maybe.
So you're getting paid like $120
bucks
a game?
I mean, that's without expense. That's without your expenses, like for your living, having to get food.
Wait, so they don't? Do they pay for your housing?
Nah, we gotta.
You gotta come out of pocket.
Yeah, you gotta pay for your own place. You gotta, like we get fed lunch and dinner, or like I guess probably a pregame, and dinner after the game.
So they really make y'all grind to get to the majors.
No, yeah, it's a grind.
So what's it like for like let's say like a first overall draft pick? Like let's say your first overall probably paid what let's say like $8 million.
Yeah,
$8 million is your signing bonus, and then like what happens for that guy? So after that, so he goes. Probably,
he still makes whatever. Like if he's in Double A, he'll make the $1,800 a month. But I mean, for him, it's obviously a lot easier than say the guy that signed for $5,000.
So if you do make it to the show, you get so like let's say for you prime example, let's say Orioles called you up like week 6 of the regular season, and you were pitching, you were a relief pitcher. I don't know what your mode is in pitching. I don't know, I'm not that in tune with all the pitching.
I'm a starter. Yeah.
Ooh, starter. I don't know. All right. So he's a starter.
Yeah. You know what? I love the confidence.
I do love it. I love
it. You gotta have it.
I'll let him know.
You gotta have it.
Let's say they signed you to a pitching deal and you were in the show.
Yeah.
Do you renegotiate a contract, or is there like something written in your contract where it's like, okay, now you get paid this much?
It just kind of goes to the league minimum, which is I think this past year was like $550,000.
Okay, so that's similar.
Yeah, I read.
Similar.
I think it was $555,000 was the minimum salary in MLB.
That's insane. So like, what do you think? Again, so Kip and I were talking a little bit before Derek got here. We were talking about Kyler Murray. And
he's an idiot.
So he is an idiot, right? For not choosing baseball. Guaranteed contracts, all this stuff.
All right, no, let me not say he's an idiot, because it is kind of smart. So what he did was, now he's being touted as the number 1 or number 2 quarterback drafted. And everybody knows quarterbacks in football make a shit ton of money. Now, if you're a first round pick as a quarterback, and if he's gonna go anywhere in the top 10 picks, he's gonna make 15, 20 million off the top.
Off the top, like signing.
So his thing, I guess he understands how it works.
Yeah.
With probably possibly, even though he was a first round pick, wasn't he?
Yeah, 7th overall.
Yeah, so he's a first round pick, but in his mind he's like, all right, probably not gonna go straight to the majors. Probably gonna make him play some type of AAA or AA for a little bit.
Well, they have to play. Pretty much have to. Right? Does anybody, even a number 1 overall, does anybody go straight to the majors after they get drafted?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know of anybody that has.
That's crazy. So
do first round picks start in AAA?
Nah. Usually when you get drafted, you go like right to rookie ball, just kind of get your feet wet.
Yeah.
And then after that, you usually go probably either low A, high A, and then you get into then kind of move up from there. Either you can move up during the season or like going to the next season.
So what do you think of Kyler Murray's decision? He picked football over baseball. He's gonna be a first rounder in football as well.
Clearly he thinks he's gonna make 20 or 30 mil off the top.
Yeah.
He basically told the A's, like, listen, you want me to come play baseball, and you got to give me 20, 30 mil off the top, or I'm gonna go play football.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Which is smart. He had leverage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's just working his leverage. But I think for me, I think he should go play football.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, I think, like you were talking about earlier, is that, if he's the top 10, 15 pick, he's going to get, 15, 20, depending on where he's drafted at, which is...
And that's signing, too.
I mean, that's just signing, and then he's on, like, another, $15 million contract.
And in least football, he doesn't have to do, like, any type of minor league. Like, they're going to give him a chance to be a starter.
Exactly.
Yeah, so he, gets drafted, he goes straight to the NFL. Like, he don't have to go no minor leagues, he don't have to grind, and so...
Right.
I mean, like I was telling you before, is, like, say he goes straight to the NFL... I mean, if he's any good, he's going to get to that second contract by the time he's 24, 25, whatever it is.
Right.
Whereas,
that's
say
a much bigger payday.
Well,
it's about the same.
And that's if he's good too. Because I mean, shit, Kirk Cousins
Kirk Cousins getting 84 mil.
Yeah, and
guaranteed.
I mean, that's not even the top of the top, right?
Why they can't even cut his ass.
That
was genius.
So then, say I think probably we'll say the average for minor leagues is 2 or 3 years probably for a first round pick.
Yeah.
Then so when he gets there, he's 24 already, and then on top of that, he's got another 6 years before he become a free agent, where he can sign a second deal. So he's close to 30 by then.
So if he,
so no wonder why baseball players are a lot older. Like,
So let's say he signed for like that $8 million, and then he spends 2-3 years in minors, making a total of like, let's say, anywhere from 60 to 90 grand.
Yeah.
And then what happens when he gets a shot in the show? Like when they bring him up. Like, is he on minimum again?
Yeah, so like whenever he gets called up, he's making minimum for the season, which is the $550.
But you got to think about it. If you're making 500, I mean that's pretty much what minimum is in the NFL.
Yeah, that's but that's different. That's an undrafted guy in the NFL. Whereas
no, it's the same.
No, I'm saying that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, now the way the CBA is structured, all rookies get the same base.
Yeah.
The only thing that changes is the signing bonus depending on your draft slot.
Exactly.
So. It's kind of essentially the same thing as what they do in baseball. But
that makes sense. Yeah.
Baseball has no salary caps though, so like once you
get the second contract,
once you get that second contract, you can pretty much get whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say once you kind of like the way the drafts are set up and stuff like that, I would say they're pretty similar with the slotting and stuff like that.
So Kyler Murray is not an idiot for.
So he's
football.
not.
I don't think so.
No, the thing is always like always a misconception because I know even like sometimes with people I know growing up in New York. Everybody always be like, "Oh, baseball is where it's at. Baseball is a sport to play. That's where you're gonna make all the money. Those guys make a lot of money." But
the ones that do make the money, you talk
about the Robinson Canos, the A-Rods, guys who are signed in 7-year, 300. Especially in New York, all we see Yankees players get paid like out the ass.
Like Derek Jeter.
CC Sabathia is making 350. Yeah. A-Rod comes makes 300 million. Robinson Cano leaves and makes 290 million. Like that's to us. You hear those numbers again, like. A lot of fans will understand when you hear those numbers in the media. That's just like the number of the contract. That's not like doesn't even tell you the breakdown what the signing bonus is. Yeah. Like with football, with us in our language in contracts is guaranteed money. It's really the money that you're going to see.
You're always looking
so you can hear a guy sign a 4, 5, or 6 year deal for 90, 100, 150 million, but
you're like, all right, what's guaranteed? Though?
What's guaranteed? And then again, once it's guaranteed, okay, what's a roster bonus? What's a workout bonus? What's a, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's all types of things to break it down. Like, so it's always the common misconception that, like, if you play baseball, if you sign, but you guys' contracts are guaranteed fully though, right?
Yeah, fully guaranteed. But I think, like you were saying, I think the big thing with that misconception is, I mean, one, like when you think football, you're like, oh, like CTE, taking, guys just crushing heads for
the ultimate gladiators.
Yeah. And then you think of baseball, it's like it just seems way more chill and like
like you're gonna be able to play as long as you can play.
Yeah,
you're not gonna get hurt.
But I think the average like career span, I think, is pretty similar to the NFL, where it's 2 or 3 years.
Are you talking about in the show?
Yeah, in the show. In the show.
Yeah. See, that would make sense for MLB though, because you guys also have to compete with like international, like
we got international guys. I mean, Japan,
especially from
Korea,
like Cuba, like those guys,
Cuba,
like
Mexico, Dominican, Venezuela.
See, I would understand that in baseball because there's just so many bodies.
Yeah.
Like, what's a normal MLB roster like? What's the roster?
They got 25.
25 guys.
25 guys.
How many? So what's the breakdown position?
Unlimited salary cap?
Yeah, but listen to this though. Listen to this. This is where it gets crazy. What is the roster breakdown on that 25? How many players like at each position?
So it's usually kind of split down right down the middle. So you'll have 12 or 13 position guys, and then depending on if you got 12 or 13, you'll have 12 or 13 pitchers as well.
Straight up, like half the team is pitchers.
Yeah.
Because they burn out. You got a guy like Kip here throwing 93 miles an hour. That takes a toll. Takes a toll.
So
it's insane.
So you'll have your 5 starters, and then usually 7 relievers.
Fucking
and
crazy.
you just roll with that in the big leagues for 162 games, and then the playoffs after that.
So when you see guys like a Mariano Rivera who played numerous amounts of years just as a closer, like that's like an elite type of career then.
Yeah, that's elite.
Wow. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
When I growing up, I always thought like, damn, that dude's just I mean, even though he was a savage as a closer, like it was like, damn, all he has to do is go in there and pitch 3-4 innings max.
See, I thought tops it was like
Mariano Rivera was only coming in for 1 inning though, but I mean he was coming in when you 1-run game, maybe a guy on, no one on, but I mean that's high leverage situation. Yeah, you still got to be mentally locked in and ready to go.
So speaking of mentally locked in, what's it like? In the locker. So this is insights from the locker room. In the locker room, though, like what's the difference between you said there's literally it sounds like there's 2 types of guys. There's position players and there's pitchers.
Yeah.
So and that's how the breakdown is in the roster. So what's the difference between a guy that plays outfield, third base, or a guy that plays pitcher?
That's what I want to know.
Who the prima donna is?
Who's the prima
Who's the
donna?
wide receiver?
Who's the prima donna?
Derek is asking
Is it shortstops?
Yeah. I'd probably say the pitchers might be the prima donnas because
the pitchers are the prima donnas.
Yeah.
Well, they run the show.
That's understandable.
But I'd probably say that just because we're always in the training room. You got to take care of your arm. You always got to get a little rub down from the trainer or something.
Like, who's the guys that's always like when I was turn on ESPN and I see like the dudes who are playing with the big Cuban diamonds in it.
I mean.
And
like,
the big money, dudes who like the flash that get the check, like
probably the outfilders. Honestly, outfielders are the ones rocking the chains because I mean, you think you're in the infield, you got to dive in sometimes, you got to get dirty a little bit, but outfielder, you just
but wide receivers
around.
wear their chains all the time. Yeah. I did it one time as a lineman. I regret it. I got every chain popped as soon as a dude long arm me around my neck, everything just like, and I was like,
quite frankly, I don't know why you ever even would have tried it.
We were actually playing a game this year, and the first baseman for the other team had a couple chains on, and he was bumped in with the umpire, and the umpire got his hand caught up in the chain and popped that shit, and
man,
shit was flying all over the field. I was like, damn, that is brutal.
That wouldn't feel good at all.
Nah,
man. So what's explain like an average baseball locker room? Like what do you see when you first walk through the door in like a big league locker room or any type of locker room that you've experienced since your time playing pro ball?
I mean, I'd probably say you walk in and you probably got the guys that'll hang out. Some guys will just hang out in front of their locker. Yeah. If they watch their iPad or something. Then you got the group. Usually, a lot of guys like to play cards or play board games.
Really?
So you get if there's a group there doing that.
That's different. because you don't get that a lot in football.
I mean,
Yeah, so
we play some chess and some Connect.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
if in training camp, maybe like you'll get like to pass the time between.
Yeah.
But normally on a day to day, we're not in the locker room playing cards and stuff.
Sometimes you just get the group that's chilling, watching TV, laying on the couch, or and then you
your
got
locker
that.
room sound pretty nice.
I mean, it's all right. It's all right.
Couches and TVs. I heard somebody told me. I'm sorry to cut you.
No, you're good.
Somebody told me that I know a guy used to cut hair for a lot of MLB teams while he was out here. He said that they used to have like a big smorgasbord layout of like food and stuff when you like walk in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, usually depending on where you're at, like I mean, I think most places now got like some sort of a kitchen area.
Yeah.
Where all the food is at, but I mean, as you move up, you get fed nicer. But yeah, I mean, the big leagues, you know, you're eating nice.
You're eating nice in the big league.
Like we talking about like
I mean, pretty much whatever you want. Like
lobster legs.
You just let them know what you want.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a big difference between you know, baseball locker rooms. No, but I think it's a big difference between baseball locker rooms and professional football is your locker room is pretty much game day every time. Whereas ours is like practice 6 days a week, and then we have one game day locker room.
That's true.
But you guys are playing. How many games do you play a week?
Yeah. I mean, 6, 7, depending on if we got a off day or not.
So like, you don't practice during the season.
We don't practice, no. So
which is insane to think about honestly, as an athlete to me, because I've always played like we practice for a month.
That shows elite level. Like those dudes
it
are
does.
elite.
You go to play.
Yeah,
you can just play games.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say we're not practicing because I mean, every day you're either hitting in the cage.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, you're still getting your work in every day.
Yeah.
But I
But
mean,
it's like that's more like a warm up.
As far as a formal practice, like I mean, like you guys would have in the NFL or in the CFL, you know, there's not much formality with the practice.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's not just like, all right, period 1, we have individuals.
No.
Period 2, special teams.
Lineman, head to your corner.
Head to your corner. Stay there for 25 minutes and don't come out.
So I mean, it's kind of nice because you don't have to. I mean, the only time you really do practice is in spring training, which is, I mean, a month and a half long.
Yeah. So you're reporting for spring training. What, like this weekend?
Yeah, I believe they start.
Or normally, yeah. Sorry, you're hurt. You just had what? You had Tommy John's, right? The ACL of baseball.
Yep, pretty much in the elbow.
Yep.
So yeah, I will go report after spring training.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe spring training begins around the 15th February.
Yeah, it's coming
so
up.
pretty soon, a couple weeks.
Yeah. So with spring training though, is that like? Because I imagine so everybody participates. So if you're whether you're like in the rookie league, you're in the high A's, or you're AA, AAA.
Yeah.
The show, everybody goes to spring ball.
Yeah, everyone goes to spring training. And then you got your big league spring training, and then you got minor league spring training.
Okay, so what's the atmosphere like in spring training? Because everybody they're training in nice
Seems
places.
Like a big party.
Yeah, honestly, it does.
I mean, it kind of is a big party, especially down the minor league side. I mean, well, I wouldn't say it's a big party, but because I mean, everyone's trying to make a team or, you know, either have a job come season time. But I mean, it's definitely super cool once you spend 6 months of the off season away from everybody, and then you kind of get back. You know, you see your friends, and then you just kind of get back out on the field finally. Because I mean, some guys come from up north where it's cold and snowing still.
It's cold right now.
So like some guys, this is the first time they get on the field all winter.
They're getting out of Chicago where it's negative 50 wind chill.
Yeah. So like, I mean, it's cool to get back out on the field, and kind of start playing baseball again. Get back into that.
And so like, is spring ball, because the only thing I have to that relates to spring ball is like, training camp or fall camp for college players. Is it more of a stressful time for guys like yourself that are trying to make, you're trying to go up in the league, you're trying to go up to AAA or majors? Yeah. Is it a stressful time, or is it more of like all right?
I mean, I think it just kind of depends. I mean, for the most part, I think either you kind of know like where you're going to be, or kind of, if you're going to make a team or not, or if you're kind of one of those fringe guys. But I mean, I would say that majority of guys are wanting to do well and kind of perform well so that they can either make that team, or say like you come into a season and maybe you were in whatever level you were at, either like some guys might have to repeat that level, but say you come in and you just tear it up in spring training, like you might be like they might see something like, all right, he's good. He doesn't need to go back and repeat, even though that was the plan. Yeah. He's going to go up to AAA or whatever. So, I mean, I'd say it's kind of 50-50. When you're out on the field, you're trying to put that work in and
sounds so intricate.
Perform well. But once you come off the field, then you're just kind of chilling, relaxing, having fun.
So what position? Like you're saying, Derek was just saying, baseball's so intricate, and we're just talking about how there's like 12, 13 pitchers on a team. Is pitcher the position that you like guys talk about wanting to play in baseball? Like
it's like the quarterback of baseball,
or like like a lot of guys want to make their living in the NFL as being like fuck, I wish I could long snap. You know what I mean? Like
I wish man, I tried to learn too a couple years ago, and I'm terrible at it, man.
Oh, I'm a ball and long snapper.
Really?
Yeah.
Then why didn't you never tell anybody before? If I was you, the next time I get to NFL camp,
well, it's because I'm always
the first thing I would do is long snap as soon as I walk on the field.
That's what I did. I was backup long snapper on the Chargers until I got hurt.
Yeah. That's how
surgical.
you have a easy 15-year career.
Yeah, they're surgical out there. Yeah. So is a pitcher that kind of position where that's where you kind of want to be? That's where the money is? Or?
I mean, I don't know if there's like one set position. I mean, it's probably. I mean, guys think like, hey, if you're a starter and you're throwing once every 5th day, that those 4 days. I mean, it is a little laid back and chilling, but
yeah, you're basically just sitting in the joint,
but, I mean,
chewing, spitting seeds.
You're the kicker of the baseball.
Watching everybody else sweat, like, all right, boys, let's go.
But I mean, there's a lot of preparation that goes into it. Being a starter and kind of making sure that when you do go out there 5th day that you perform well and can pitch.
All right, so I got another question for you. Because pitching is the most, it's considered, to be like the quarterback of the offense or defense in baseball general. Is there like film that you watch? What's that?
No.
Are you is there like film that you watch, or like do you guys break down film, or like do you prepare for certain batters, or is there like a way you go about it, or do you just do your own thing and approach every game the same?
Yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't say we necessarily watch film like you would in football, but we analytics is becoming super big in baseball.
Yeah.
So you kind of get breakdowns on what what hitters do well and what they don't do well, what pitches they hit well and don't.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on, like, some organizations are more into analytics than others are. So kind of depending on which organization you're with, they'll have more of that information readily available to you.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like for me personally, I stick more to my game, like what I do well. Rather than what, say, the batter doesn't do well.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I just have a little more success doing that rather than, trying to either, plan, game 1 to pitch these guys a certain way and then the next game pitch a different way.
Yeah, so a batter's going to have to come to you, play your game.
Yeah,
rather
so like
than...
I'm going to pitch my game and, this might sound like a bad way, like it's either going to go well or going to go bad, but...
So what is your like... Your daily pitch, like you got like a catalog, like, all right, when I go to this game, I'm gonna start off with the fastball and then check the slider, or I'm gonna start hitting them with some curves, like.
So my pitch is the sinker.
The sinker.
Yeah. So
how do you throw that?
I throw mine with 2 seams, and then.
Is that the one that goes like straight and then right when it gets to a point it just drops on them?
Yeah, like kind of got a little bit of that motion there with it.
Okay. Instead of a curve that comes from the other way kind of thing?
Okay. Yeah, so, it would be like if you're right-handed, the curve's going to go this way. It's more of like that.
Okay, so that makes sense.
So
sinker's like, is that like your favorite pitch?
Yeah, that's just, it's, like when I got to high school, I kind of started realizing that's what my ball, like how my ball moved.
Yeah.
So then I just kind of been working on it and trying to perfect it and get it as good as I possibly can. So then with that, I get a lot of ground balls. So I try to eat up a lot of innings, throw as few pitches as I can, and then give the bullpen, a day off or whatever it may be, give them some rest.
So when you get a situation where you got a batter, excuse me for being ignorant and not phrasing this right, but he has 2 outs. It's like your last pitch to get the strikeout. Like, what pitch are you going to?
Depending on the count. It mostly depends on the count.
Let's say you got 2 strikes, 2 balls.
I'd probably go with the slider maybe. But a lot of it kind of depends on how, like, what pitches you threw before, and how, like, the sequence you pitched with them.
Is that because you want to keep the batter guessing, or?
Yeah, just kind of keep them off balance. So you'll throw pitches in certain locations, to either set up the pitch before. Or to set up for the pitch like after, based on what you threw before. It's a game inside of a game pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm trying to set up the hitter.
Line. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to set up the hitter with certain pitches and sequence my pitches, as well as, like, changing speeds and changing eye level in and out, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
as well as playing the actual game.
That sounds exactly like
exactly what we do.
Exactly what like a defensive end will do to a tackle. Let's say, where all game he is trying to do like a rip inside all game, just to set you up for that one time he sees a pocket to throw an outside spin when you're not expecting it, and then that's what he tries to do.
Well, if you're really good, like some people I know, you could dictate the moves that you want him to do instead of letting him do what he wants.
That's a self-suck because Derek's talking about himself, and we all know it.
Just saying,
unbelievable.
The good tackles. The good tackles dictate the game.
Absolutely. But it's crazy, though. Even between football and baseball, like, half the goal is to be a good player is to get guys out of their rhythm. So if I'm playing a good defensive end, I want to get him out of his rhythm before he can dictate.
I don't even want him to get into a rhythm.
Exactly.
First play of the game, I'm firing on your ass, boy. You're going to feel everything.
Ooh.
Yes, everything. That's why I get mad at offensive coordinators.
Yeah.
If I go into the game week, and you know how you get the top 10 plays we're thinking about running to start the game off.
Yeah.
If that first play is not a run, I'm sick. I'm screaming at the OC. What are you doing? Run the ball, first play of the game.
Let's
I don't care who we playing.
I
don't care who we playing. I don't care what the weather is. I don't care what day of the week it is or time. It doesn't matter. First play of the game should always be a run. Let your O-line set the tone.
Might as well.
You have to.
And you mentioned weather, which brings me to a random question. How bad does rain fuck you up? Because you guys...
Terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
What is baseball's made out of? Is it leather?
Yeah, it's leather.
So, I guess, but you don't wear a glove when you throw, right?
Nah, no gloves, nothing.
So, it's still hard to grip even in the rain?
Yeah. I mean, we use rosin, which, when you get a little bit of moisture, like with the sweat or something, it'll make it a little bit tacky so you can get a grip on it, but...
Cheater.
I mean, sometimes...
Guys with lacing balls and
that's legal. That's legal.
So what's the thing, because you see a lot of guys do it. You see a lot of guys, and it was just on Twitter. I'll have to go back and find the video. Some guy was calling out one of the Red Sox pitchers because before every single pitch, he was grabbing his arm and then, messing with the ball a little bit, and then he'd throw it, and the guy was like, oh, that must be sunscreen. So, like, what are the things that pitchers do that are pretty much, like, standard across the league but are technically cheating? Like, do they wear sunscreen and use some sunscreen? Hell yeah!
Nah,
everybody does it. Everybody does it.
Like, public knowledge, but the thing is, though, is when you get, like, so say I'm doing something, but, like, the other manager ain't going to call me out on it because he knows his guys are doing it also. So then our manager's be like, hey, yo, that guy's fucking cheating over there, too.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of one of those things. Everybody knows about it, but no one calls him out because then you're going to get called
out.
So
what does that
do?
Hold on, I'm sorry. I got to ask this question.
Yeah.
When you see managers arguing and shit, what the hell do they be arguing about?
Anything, honestly. Like, I mean, either usually the play brings them out, but, as you get later in the season and you kind of get get the players and the managers get to know the umpires.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got a bone to pick with some umpires. Like, either they're just terrible or, it just seems like whenever you got that crew, they just blow a call that day every time.
Is there like a strategy managers use? Like, if a team is on a little hot streak and like, you know what? I'm going to mess this up.
I'm gonna go take out third base and throw it on the pitcher's mouth.
I'm going to freeze the game up and slow him down.
Nah, I don't think there's anything like that ever usually. But I mean, sometimes, like, if your team's struggling or whatever, like, you might get ejected to kind of jumpstart your team or kind of light a fire under their ass.
Oh, so some ejections.
So it's like fight for your manager.
Yeah,
kind of
thing.
So like he has your back, you have his back. Kind
exactly.
Of
thing. Yeah. So
that's interesting.
I like that.
I didn't know that. I like that.
That's a good way to explain it. Fight for each other.
And so when it goes to like I was talking about with the guy that was tapping his arm, getting the sunscreen. What is that? does that help with pitching? I don't understand. Like everybody does it, so it must. What does it do?
Like when you got the rosin, and it's just with like either some more the sweat on your hand.
Yeah,
it makes it a little bit tackier, but
so you get like a better spin on the ball if you're trying to throw some shit.
Yeah, you can get a little bit, but I mean it's not. I don't think it's anything significant. But when you start getting either like some sunscreen mixed with the rosin, that's when it gets super sticky. And that's when you can start creating some more, if you're throwing a fastball, some more backspin as the nerds would say these days, some more backspin. Or you can create some more.
Nerds.
Yeah.
God damn you, Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill.
Moneyball.
Starting Moneyball.
Yeah, or guys will use pine tar. That's another thing.
Yeah. All right, kid. So thank you for giving us all the inside scoop on the baseball locker room. It's different. We know you're coming back from a Tommy John's, but dude, best of luck in your recovery and this upcoming season, the AA.
Definitely gonna be paying close attention to you this week.
Absolutely.
Throw some tickets, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for
Let
sure.
us know what's up.
For sure.
Yeah, and like
appreciate
I said,
you coming through, man.
Absolutely appreciate you coming through, man. And like I said, we know you got to get out of here, but we appreciate it, and we're gonna continue talking here, Derek and I. But yeah, man, go enjoy that dinner.
All right, for sure. I appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate it, man. Bro. Yeah, take it easy.
Yep.
So again, that was Jordan Kipper, pitcher that's in the Baltimore Orioles organization. Jordan is a one impeccable type of guy. He trains with me and Tyler during the offseason. We see him a lot. He's a great dude. We appreciate him coming on. So now we're going to segue into our question of the week for this episode. And again, if you're not, follow us on Twitter at Inisghts from LR, which is Insights from the Locker Room is our Twitter name. I posted the question of the week on there. This week, my question was, I hear CFL fans complain of too much roster turnover from teams.
Yeah.
So to limit that, I asked the CFLPA asked CFL to take a page from the NFL structure format of contracts and make pure monetary guarantees within CFL contracts to want to make guys sign multi-years or want to stay in Canada aside from looking to make a jump to a bigger payday. So I got a number of responses, but the reason I geared that question is because I happen to just be looking over some of my old contracts. I happen to just be, just interested in what's going on still with the CFL.
Just happened to be,
interested in what's going on with negotiations and looking at things that I could possibly bring it to my rep about, things that maybe need to be brought up when they start to get to meetings and stuff in March. So the way CFL contracts are structured, there is no salary guarantees whatsoever in the contracts aside from when you get to the regular season. The guarantees that we have are based more so on experience and a date in the calendar during the year. So if you're a 3-year vet, I think your salary is guaranteed after the 11th or 12th game.
Yeah,
if
so
you're
two-thirds of the way through season.
Yeah, pretty much. Your salary is not fully guaranteed, or at least until you get to damn near the end of the season. So, and it goes up and up for the higher you get. I think the highest you get is once you're a 6-year vet, your salary is guaranteed after week 9 of the season. Yeah. So my thing is, the way NFL contracts are set up is that in certain times during the contract, there are guarantees. So when you hear NFL contracts, say you have a guy who signs a 4-year, $20 million contract with $10 million guaranteed, that means that dude, whether he plays or not, will see $10 million. Now, for us, we don't have that same thing. We signed a 2 or 3 year deal worth $600, $700K. There is no, $300 is guaranteed. So if whether we play a game or not, we don't see any money. At any time CFL team outside of during the season, say they can cut you week 3, you don't get any of your money.
No.
You could get to the offseason, you have a offseason.
You'll get the money you were allotted for those 3 weeks.
For those 3 weeks, but that's it. That's it. You could be in the offseason, which we see a lot in the CFL. A guys do a roster bonus or do an offseason bonus, and he gets cut a day or two before it, and again, you get nothing. So your name's been on a piece of paper for months. You've bled, cried, sweated, worked your tail off with a group of guys for a team, for a city, for an organization. And at any given point, they can decide, you're not worth any more money. We're not going to give it to you. We're going to give it to the next dude. Now, I think that's kind of unfair for CFL guys. I think there should be at least some sort of monetary guarantee and contracts so that outside of the signing bonus, because I know people want to say, oh, well, you got a signing bonus that's guaranteed money. Again, in NFL contracts, the guaranteed money is more than just the signing bonus.
Yeah. So it's completely different things. So you get your signing bonus, and then you're looking at your contract, which is, a certain amount of money guaranteed and a certain amount of money that you have to earn through play or whatever, the contract stipulates. But, you got guys like that's what was so interesting about having Kip on earlier was I thought, when they get drafted, let's say a guy gets drafted first round, he gets $8 million.
I thought that was talking about his contract, because that's how you talk about when guys are drafted to the NFL, CFL, whatever. You talk about their total contract.
You talk about the total of the
contract.
Yeah, no,
but they talk about signing bonus, and then you're going to be making $800 to $2,000 a month until you get back to until you get up to the MLB, the show, big show, and then you get minimum, and then after that season, then they renegotiate. But no, I think it's an interesting point. One thing I got to ask you though, Derek, is people complain a lot about turnover in the CFL, and I saw it firsthand. We had so much turnover this season; it was hard to be successful early on because we got a new GM that he's trying to change over the culture, which I understand.
And people always complain, "Oh, I bought this guy's jersey. He's only here for a year or two, and he left to go to NFL. Yeah, but he was here for a year, and like my situation with Saskatchewan, I was signed a 3-year deal. I was only there for a year. People buy the jersey. You hype me up, excited, boosted, and then you decided at any point, all right, we don't want to deal with this guy anymore. We get rid of him. Again, how do you limit? Like, if there was a thing when I signed that 3-year deal in SAS, if there was a certain... See, the thing that people... My thing is I'm saying some monetary guarantees. It makes the team assume some sort of risk when they're making the transactions. Exactly. And I think in any other pro sport, teams assume some risk when they're signing players or they're bringing in players or they're building a team. So why is it that CFL teams and CFL is exempt from holding their owners and teams to the same standard that any other professional athletic league holds their owners and teams to?
Yeah, and I think the issue, I'm saying from like a political standpoint, the issue with giving guys guaranteed contracts in the CFL is because as the league stands currently, let's say you give a guy let's say he's on like a 1 year, it's purely hypothetical. Yeah, a 1 year. $190,000 contract, $100,000 guaranteed. No, sorry, 2 year. We'll give it 2 year. 2 year, $300,000 contract, $100,000 guaranteed. But then the second he finishes that second year, he's going to dip out anyway if he has an NFL opportunity because there's more money.
Well, again, that's on the team for signing him to a 2-year deal. But let's say you have you got the bigger names in the league. Say you got a quarterback, Mike Riley, for instance, that's up for free agency this year. Yep. Say a team wants to sign Mike Riley to a 5-year deal. Okay. Now, say right now they're talking about Mike Riley could make $600,000 a year, at least as a quarterback. Good for him. Quarterbacks can make that. Yeah, good for him. So you give him a 5-year deal, he's making $600,000 a year. 6 times 5, what's that? That's $3 million. $3.5 million contract. Yep. And you say $1.5 million of it is guaranteed. Cool. At least the team that signs Mike Riley knows he's going to be their quarterback for at least 3 years. Yeah.
He's guaranteed that money.
Maybe even 4, because he's guaranteed a certain amount of money.
But it sucks for it's hard for a guy to sign a long-term contract. This is where I feel you on this for sure. Is like, let's say, not even a Mike Riley situation. Let's say it's somebody that's getting paid, like they're trying to get
it happened to me.
Yeah, they're trying to get him to sign for 5 years. They're going to pay him, let's say, $600,000 over that 5 years. Well, why the hell would a guy want to sign a 6-year or a 5-year contract when any of those years he could possibly be getting a better payday somewhere else?
Well, that's again, that's also dependent upon
the team.
It's also dependent upon age. It's dependent upon the player. Some guys know. Once they get a shot in the CFL, we all know who's really going to have legit shots at leaving and going to another league.
Yeah, a.k.a. the NFL.
Yeah, not everybody is going to be able to do it. So at least if you got a guy who's a solidified starter, or you got a guy who already spent time in the NFL and decides to come up here, he plays out a rookie deal, and now, like, he's probably not going to go back because he's... You know how the NFL is. Once you get a certain age,
once you get a certain amount of shots, a certain age, a certain amount of injuries, you're never going to make it back.
It starts to dwindle. So a lot of guys, especially with us in our career and our profession, consistency and at least knowledge of what you don't have to worry about. Man, where am I going to be at this year? Where am I going to be at this year? Am I going to stay in this city for a certain amount of time? Like, guys like to have some type of consistency, some type of continuity in a place where they can at least make it a second home. You know what I'm saying? Make it a place where people know them. They could build a legacy. They could build
a brand.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. All professional athletes want that. Yeah. So if you give guys the opportunity to get that in the CFL, I think it will limit the amount of turnover you get. Because right now, most guys, especially Americans, we look at CFL as a launching pad to get back to the NFL.
Yeah.
Most guys come up there with the intention of leaving. But what about a guy who, like what Bo Levi did? He comes straight out of college, didn't get no NFL talks, comes straight out of college. He spent 7 years up there. Why not after his first year or two, you see he's a baller,
Guarantee him some money.
guarantee him some money for the next 5, so at least you don't have to worry about having to keep signing him to a 2-year deal, and then every 2 years having to re-sign a new deal. And
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
And it goes too with, like, you know, the most turnover I saw this year on our team was just trades. And granted, we're rebuilding, we're trying to make a different team, different culture, things like that. There's a lot more going on. But again, it goes back to why don't you guarantee, like, so with Calgary, a great place to play. You know, you guys are in the championship all the time. All the time.
Hey,
but
listen,
like, why wouldn't you guarantee some players some money so that
it's the easiest track to the Grey Cup possible?
Yeah, but why wouldn't you guarantee more? Why wouldn't you guarantee money for players so that they feel like they're at home, like you were saying, like they have a place and that's where they're gonna be? Because the most successful a person can be is if in their off season they can train with one goal in mind.
And that's being a better football player.
Being a better football player. Rather than being like, okay, well, damn, I might have 3 or 4 workouts to see who wants me out there. And, you know, you don't really know when those workouts are going to be. You don't know when you need to be at your peak.
It makes the offseason better for GMs because then you don't have to worry about having to keep finding new talent and replacing bodies. I mean, to be honest, that system of always trying to find new and cheaper talent, it's very taxing, bro.
It is.
You're already spending a shit ton of money to do that. Why not at least put that money into keeping established players around and giving them a chance to be in a place and succeed? Now, again, yes, the reason why people say the roster turnover is the way it is because there's so many bodies and NFL cuts and yada, 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 yada. Cool. My thing is, why are you saving space for guys who are already concentrated on being somewhere else? Even if they come back, they're still concentrated on getting back to where they already were.
Yeah, if they come from the NFL, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why are you saving space and money for guys who already don't plan on being around too long?
Exactly. And fans complain about it. What's funny to me too is I feel like, you know, the players are the most readily available to talk shit to, you know, because we're on Twitter, we're more in tune with social media, we're on the field. Like, you see us making the plays, or not us necessarily because we're linemen, but you see the plays we make. You see the plays being made by the players, so it's their fault. You know, they're the product on the field.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, when you left Sask, you had Sask fans. I'm sure. I think you've talked about it, saying,
Still
well, like, oh,
day.
you betrayed Sask. It's like,
No,
what
they
the
didn't say
hell are
betray
you?
Sask. They said I fucking sucked, and they were happy that I got cut. And then I leave, and I go back to the team I came from, and all of a sudden,
You're a traitor.
I'm wonderful again. You
Oh, you're wonderful with Cal. Yeah,
Sask fans dig with me is that they felt like I came there and I decided to suck up the joint. You want to know why I sucked up the joint? Because it was horrible in coaching. Yes, I finally said it. To all the people who I get tired of getting these goddamn tweets from people always talking smack about, oh, and it looks like the Dirk Dennis from the Marauders. It look like giving up sacks, always out there getting beat like a drum. I got beat like a drum because that goddamn offense sucks. Now,
You heard it here first. Sask, gotta turn your offense around.
I had to get that.
Gotta
off my
turn
chest,
it off.
man. I'm just tired of
That's
people.
been building.
Yo, honestly, that is like an asterisk on my career, man. I've been a straight baller since I've been in the league, except for that 1 year in SAS, and it's all because.
And the year you got cut off Hard Knocks.
You know what? But you know what? I seen a quote the other day from Bill Belichick, and the quote said,
Derek Dennis was the best O-lineman I ever had.
No, I'm kidding. It had more to do with a coach's perspective on his players. And it goes, he said, don't tell me about what the guy can't do. Tell me about what the guy can do, and I will find a way for him to exude those things that he can do to the best of his ability so that he can perform. That's what a good coach does.
Yeah.
I didn't have that in SAS. I was expected to come in and be Superman, but I was surrounded by fucking kryptonite.
That is an insane analogy. Very accurate. Very accurate.
Exactly. People don't understand that football player success is not just dependent upon talent in the player. It's also coaching. It's also scheme. It's also understanding what your guys are good at and what you're not good at.
And what I heard is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a guy kind of behind the scenes in New England for the Patriots, and he's head of football research. You know, it sounds like they kind of take we talked about Moneyball earlier with Brad Pitt.
Analytic approach.
And like they said, this guy is...
Bro, there's a reason why that team is in the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah, like he's a genius with finding the players that fit this exact scheme that they need. And, and people downplay that all the time. Like, you know what I mean? And for O-line, it doesn't affect us as much until it does, like you with Sask, for example. Yeah. But for other positions, like let's say wide receiver, for example, well... You could be one of the baddest wide receivers in the game, but no one will ever know that because you were in a system where they never went to the check down, or they never went to the guy that was in the flat. They always went to the post. You know, that might be a dumbass analogy, but you know exactly what I'm
O-line coaches and O-linemen. You know, all O-line coaches do not teach the same technique.
Not at all.
And as a player, especially in O-line, your biggest thing is being able to trust what your coach is teaching you. But if you go to a vet guy who's been playing pro football for somebody who's been around a ton of coaches, then see what works and what doesn't work. And you're telling me to do stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't think that's going to work.
Or like if like you might not think it's going to work, and then if you take it a step further and you try exactly what that coach is saying, and it just fails,
I'll try.
It fails, then
it doesn't work. All right, well, this works for me. Can I do this?
Yeah. Well, that's.
And then you got the coach who goes, nah. Do it my way. I don't like that.
Ego coaches.
Bro,
ego coaches. So like you got it. So as an O lineman, like there has, like you were saying, there has to be a trust between the O lineman and the O line coach. And if the O line coach can't swallow his ego and be like, well, I know this isn't the technique I teach, but shit, it works for him, and we're winning games.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
If you get the job done, who gives a shit how it's done as long as the job is done?
Exactly. So, like, when you're in high school and you're being coached, you probably should do what the hell that coach is saying because most likely you're not going to know as much as that.
You're trying to build.
In college, same story.
We're talking about pro level.
We're talking about pro level, where what you have been doing has got you to the pro level.
Exactly.
And they tell you to do something completely different, and if what they're telling you to do completely different works... Boom. More power to him.
More boom.
I respect that coach more.
I'll give it a try. If it works, then cool. I'll do it your way.
I'll do it your way. But if you give it a try and I suck at it, like we have a game in 3 days. I need to play how I'm going to play best.
The perfect coach I had like that, and I loved him, and I thought he was a great offensive line coach, Aaron Cromer, who used to be his offensive line coach for the Saints when they run the Super Bowl. I had him when I was in Chicago. The thing I loved about Cromer was that Cromer had his set amount of ways of how to do things. And he would love it for you to try the things that he wanted you to do it.
Yeah.
Cool. But if it was things where you'd be like, you would do it, he would come to you and go, I see you struggling doing that. Is there another way that you could possibly get the block done? I don't really care how you do it. If you could get the block done doing it a different way, cool. If you come to me and talk to me about it, like, hey, coach, listen, I know you want to block this way, but I do it a lot better this way, and I could get the same result for you.
Yeah.
He had no beef with that. But then you got the coaches who, if you come to them like that and you go, hey, coach, I know you want it done this way, but there's a certain way that I can get it done for you.
No, Derek. Now let me tell you, the way you want to get it done.
That's not how I coach football.
Hey. The way you want to get it done isn't going to get it done, son. And I've been doing this for 30 years. That's the other problem. Is you got to coach in the CFL.
Do it my way or the highway. And if you can't do it, I'll find somebody who can.
Exactly, and that's the thing. It's like sometimes, in the CFL too, you got coaches that have been coaching the NFL even for like 10, 15, 20 years. Bro. And they come to CFL, think it's the same game and think that their way of coaching is it. And you're like, well, times have changed.
Ooh,
times have changed. The league is different. Things happen. And it's just, my problem is more than like a coach teaching a technique that you don't get along with is when the coach can't communicate with the room.
Man, great coaches adapt to their players.
Example, I was with the Chargers. I respect the shit out of my O-line coach there. His name is Jeff Davidson. Great O-line coach, and everybody was telling me, like, yo, you got blessed because it's one of the best O-line coaches in the NFL. And my first experience of him being great was I was struggling, and I played left tackle from freshman year of high school all the way through college, so like 8 straight years left tackle. And I was playing left tackle with the Chargers. I was struggling a little bit when I'd get hit on an inside move because I was on stilts still that year. My right knee was coming back from my second ACL surgery still.
Right.
I was struggling. And he moved me to right. And he was like, yo, you're not playing well at left. I'm going to be straight up with you, which is another thing we talked about on episode 2. Be straight up.
Be straight up with your players.
I was struggling. And so he's like, you're struggling. I need to see if you can play another position. He put me at right tackle where my left knee was way stronger, and I was able to stomp down on every single one of those inside moves. And so he was willing to adapt to the player, which is a good coach. You got to adapt to the player.
If you know you got a talented player, and right now he may not be giving you the success that you expect or want from him, then that means you got to look at yourself in the mirror as a coach and go, did I do everything possible to put this guy in a position to succeed? Now, if I did that and he's still not succeeding,
then it's not your fault.
Then it's not your fault. It's the player's fault.
Absolutely.
But if you're not doing that and you're just trying to put the onus on the player, like, oh, he just can't get it done, but you haven't exhausted all options to see if he can get it done, then that's not on him. That's on you for poorly coaching.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, but we got a little bit off topic. So, but again, back to the contracts. I'll find us for that.
We'll find us both for that.
Yeah, but back to contracts again. My argument was that if you put at least some type of guaranteed money in CFL contracts, I think it would possibly help with roster turnover and guys not looking at the CFL as a stop to get back to the NFL,
and I think
as a place where they can build a career.
And I agree with that. And I think beyond the player, I think it puts more responsibility on the GMs.
Way more responsibility.
To stop trading guys, because like you see everybody complains about turnover and they're like, oh, well, the players are just like taking better contracts and leaving. But it's like, well, what about the GMs that are just trading guys left and right because they can't? So in the NFL, if you're on a guaranteed contract with one team and you get traded, or the GMs
who are just dropping dudes because they know some guy just got cut from the NFL and they think, oh, that guy will be good up here. I'm gonna cut this dude who's been up here grinding and busting his hump. But because I think this other guy is good, let me just chop him. I don't have to worry about his salary.
Exactly.
And I could take that and give it to this new guy.
Exactly. But beyond the NFL, CFL thing, even within the CFL, it would take a lot. There would be a lot less trading going on during season between CFL teams if teams owed money to the players they were trading. So in the NFL, if you were guaranteed money, let's say by the Patriots, they cut you, and you get signed by the Texans randomly, we'll say. Well, you're double dipping now. Now you're getting paid by the Texans, and you're still getting that money from the Patriots.
Yes.
So in the
that makes GMs become smarter with their signings and guys who they're giving the money to.
Because if they're still paying guys that they trade, it means that they really wanted that guy gone, and they can't. They still owe him money.
And they say, fuck it, we're just going to pay him whatever we owe him and just let him move on.
Exactly, which would happen a lot less.
Coaches do it all the time.
Coaches do it all the time.
Between college and pro level, coaches do it all the time. They can have signed with one job and so it happened to my school, Temple. We signed the goddamn defensive coordinator from Miami, Manny Diaz.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, head coaching job in Miami opens. He decided to leave and takes that job.
What about Ken Wisenhunt? Which I played for the 1 year. So the first year he was back with the Chargers was when I went with the Chargers, and I go way back with Ken Wisenhunt. I knew his daughter. We were the same year all the way through middle school and high school.
Yeah,
and he had signed a $53 million contract which is all guaranteed because NFL coaches, with the Cardinals, and got cut like 2 years later with like $24 million owed. He went to Tennessee as a head coach, got paid by them, so now he's double dipping, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only made it like 3/4 of a season as head coach with the Tennessee Titans.
Fired. Now he's at home getting checked. And
then he got fired, and then he's with Chargers. So for the 1 year I was with the Chargers, Ken Wisenhunt was triple dipping. Triple dipping.
He was getting checks from 3 teams at the same time.
3 teams at the same time, and like good for him, but at the same time, like it makes teams a little less likely to trade guys or with coaches to get rid of coaches because they owe that player money. There'd be less turnover if there was guaranteed contracts where they couldn't get rid of the guy because they owed him too much money.
But I don't understand why owners are so like people are in the uproar on the CFL about them putting a salary cap on the front office and the coaches. I think they need that.
They need it.
They need that. Who cares
if they're not
unionized or whatever? Like all that. Who cares, bro? coaches always have powers that are extended well beyond players.
Yeah.
And players are the product. How are you giving people that are not the product more power than the guys who actually are the ones bringing the dollar in? People don't come to games to see a coach.
Nope.
They come to see their favorite quarterback or their favorite wide receiver or their favorite running back or their favorite O-lineman or whatever the hell it is. They come to see the players. They don't come to see the coaches on the sideline with a headset.
Nope. They absolutely don't.
So how are you paying coaches more money and they having more power to do whatever and they can leave and jump and go wherever the hell they want? And it seems so unfair. Like it's crazy.
It is, and that's the other thing too is when you get into the topic of, well, most of these coaches played, but how many of these coaches played professionally?
Not a lot. Very
small percentage.
But normally the good coaches are guys who are players because they understand. The most coaches. Well, I think BC is gonna have a great year next year because Clay. Aside from Clay being my dog, I love you, Clay. Congratulations, appreciate you. I think being around Clay, and for people who know Clay, they know Clay is a certain way, yada yada. But most players are more susceptible to listen to what he has to say, is because he can tell you, hey, you need to do this and do that because when I was playing, it worked.
Exactly.
Players take that.
Especially at the position coach level.
They take that.
Now, position coaches, I think, have in general, and I could be wrong here, I'm literally talking out my ass, but just from experience and what I've seen. Position coaches have normally played football to a pretty competitive degree, whereas head coaches can kind of come from anywhere if they're a smart guy that knows football. But what I notice is a lot of the guys that know football don't mesh with the guys in the locker room well. Yeah, just because they just know football, I think should be a certain way, and they don't know what it takes to do that.
Again, that's a different type of guy. That's the type of guy where football is more than life. Football is like the it for them. Yeah. Their whole life is determined around football. Guys like that sometimes have trouble with players because to them, they treat the game with a certain amount of passion, a certain amount of love that is not normally seen from most people involved with it.
Yeah.
Like I know, for instance, like even my O-line coach that I have, Pat Domenico, he's a great coach. Mm-hmm. Awesome coach. X's and O's, super. Sometimes he has trouble on the personal side because the X's and O's mean a little bit more. And sometimes I got to be like, hey, coach, I understand where you're coming from, but other people may not understand that because they don't know where your head is at. You know
exactly, yeah.
A lot of coaches, too, have trouble to letting their players know where their head is at. That's why I like coaches who are very forthcoming. Like I said, be straight up. Because if you're straight up with the players and they know where you're coming from, then you don't have to worry about a guy getting upset because you're benching him. You don't got to worry about a guy getting upset because you think so-and-so is this and so-and-so is that. Or, you know what I'm saying? If guys understand where you're coming from, then your moves make more sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excuse me.
Woo! God bless you.
Ric Flair. Woo!
Woo! On the drip.
Yeah. So, again, that was the question of the week. Not to get too long-winded and off topic with that. But now, segueing into the end of the show, Tyler had a big topic that he wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
In terms from last week from the championship games.
It was a couple weeks ago now. Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. You know, so
a couple weeks ago, conference championship games. Everybody knows about the big no call from the L.A. New Orleans game. So, Tyler, take it away, brother.
Okay, so the infamous no call, the pass interference on one of during the regular play time between the Saints and the Rams. You know, there was a no call. There should have been a pass interference towards the end of that drive.
Should have been a helmet to helmet. Should have been a pass.
It should have been. There's 100 things that should have been, right? Didn't get called.
At least 3-4 things could have been called.
Cool. My issue with the whole thing is, you know, obviously it should have been called. You know, that's one thing. You know, Roger Goodell, the commissioner for the NFL, should have maybe done more.
He just had like some big whatever, you know, commissioners do where they have like a state of the address type of thing.
Basically like addressing the union. Yeah. Your State of the Union address based on that one call. Yeah. He should have done. But they didn't do it. So there was a no call. New Orleans was just, you know, everybody, fans, coaches, players, all up in arms about it, lawyers, all up in arms about it. Literally everybody was so hurt about this no call. And they should have been. And so the NFL didn't do anything about this no call for like a week or a week and a half after, right? Mm-hmm. The only action that was taken on the no call was to fine the DB
that committed the penalty that wasn't called.
That committed the penalty that wasn't
called.
They
fined him?
They fined the player. What was his name? Coleman?
I can't remember.
Shit. Well,
Roby Coleman, something like that.
Ronnie Coleman, Roby Coleman.
Something like
Not
that.
Ronnie Coleman, but Roby Coleman, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, they fined the DB that made the hit that wasn't called, and we're like, yep, wipe our hands with it. Yep, we fined him. Don't worry.
I seen this.
What?
I seen.
He didn't get penalized. He shouldn't have been fined. So like,
it
pissed me off.
Again, leagues always do that to overcompensate because it happens in CFL a lot. There are penalties that occur during the game that are uncalled, like what happened with Ottawa Red Blacks linebacker Kyrese Hebert. He hit one of our receivers, DeVaris Daniels. It was clearly a nasty, dirty hit.
Yeah.
Should have been a helmet-to-helmet call, but there was no flag. He ended up getting fined and suspended for games later on.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, again, because people saying there was a helmet-to-helmet, there was a...
obvious pass interference. Obviously is.
I think the fine comes from the sense of the helmet-to-helmet or like the hitting the
that's what it was.
Receiver type of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's where the fine comes from. And again, I understand it, but that's just the NFL just trying to save face.
They're trying to save face in the worst way possible. So if they wanted to save face to me, the way they should have handled
they can't change the call. They can't go back and play the game.
They can't go back and play the game. But they should at least do a little bit of an investigation with the... I don't even know if it would be an investigation.
I don't think the fine's that big. He's about to get a Super Bowl check.
But the fine should have been towards the officiating crew. They should have fined themselves. The NFL as an organization, the NFL should have fined themselves.
I agree there.
Right? Because if you find the player, well, that's just going back to the player's owner, which if that owner had any type of decency, should have been like, oh shit, that no call got us into the Super Bowl.
Team should have
we should have paid that fine.
Should have paid the fine.
Should have paid the fine for him.
But you never know. Maybe they might give him some extra just to
Yeah, we don't know, and that's the thing. And we should have him on inside to the locker room to see if he got paid for that because he should have. Because it doesn't suck.
He got fined
bullshit.
2 weeks later.
He got fined 2 weeks later in order to quell the storm that came from a disgusting no call. That really did cost. No, but it really did cost.
How many no calls don't occur? Again, yes, the no call cost them a chance to win the game before OT. But remember, the Saints still did have a chance to win the game and breeze through a pick.
He did. But you got to understand.
There was a face mask on Jared Goff in the game that was uncalled. That would have put the Rams in a scoring situation, and knowing that offense, they probably would have scored, which probably would have changed the complexion of that game. So there were other no calls in that game.
Yeah, I agree.
But because that call happened towards the end of the game at a pivotal point, everyone's putting a spotlight on it.
Which brings me to the next point for next NFL season. The NFL
should adopt
CFL rules to challenge no calls.
I knew you were going there.
Absolutely going to go there because why wouldn't you? Like, I feel like...
The challenge rules are not bad. It's not bad. It was bad 2 years ago before you came up.
In CFL?
Because in 2017, when I was with Sass and we played Calgary, there was like 2 or 3 challenge flags within like a 30-second time frame because coaches had like 3 or 4 flags to throw like each half. Like, it was ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. That's too much. But like in a game like that, though, what I'm saying is like, yeah, they should be able to challenge the fact that there was a face mask on Jared Goff. And more importantly, they should be able to challenge the fact that honestly, like, you're telling me Drew Brees and the Saints wouldn't have scored on the 4-yard line with first down? Come on. They would have scored. They would have won the game.
They probably would have.
So I feel like it's not that ridiculous to have one flag a game for a no call.
I even have a riff with the CFL with that, too, because sometimes when you get into... I feel like once you get into 2 minutes in the game, at that point, let the players play.
I agree, but let the players play until, like, there's...
In a championship game, honestly, I feel
until they can do whatever they want.
Let the players play. The Saints probably could have avoided that whole no-call situation if they would have just ran the ball first, second, third down. Kick the field goal.
I agree.
Still win the game.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Shoulda, coulda,
So
woulda.
again, don't put the onus on the no-call. It's bad clock management, bad coaching at that time frame.
Well, it wouldn't have been bad clock management.
We know that there's a lot of variables in football that can come to you losing the game.
Well, there's a lot of variables.
It's not just that one call.
I agree with you. It's not just that one call. There's a lot of variables, and that's why I feel like there should be at least one opportunity per team, per game, to challenge no call like that, because that no call was different than some no calls. Some no calls, they get by the wayside, whatever. That specific no call in that specific situation really did cost the Saints the game, because normally that would be called any other game, like no question. It was so fucking blatant, and you cannot disagree. Listen, it was so, but you can't disagree that was the most blatant no call you've seen in a long time.
The no call did have some sort of effect on the game.
So give coaches.
Let's also talk about the fact that the Saints were up 14-0 to start the game. Let's also talk about the fact
that's not what I'm talking about though. Yeah,
that a player during a tackle jumped over somebody and face kicked another player, and the penalty wasn't called for that. There's a whole bunch of shit that happened in that game that wasn't called.
That's just raw dog football, bro.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. I know it's not. I know what you're saying, but I'm
I
saying
want you to pull a Bobby Boucher next season and
Captain
jump
Insano.
No,
pump somebody in the eye.
When he intercepted the ball and threw it to Buddy and then jumped up and drop kicked him in the end zone.
Yeah, no, that was ridiculous.
You jump up and drop kick somebody, whether they land on the ground or standing up.
So that coach should have an opportunity to no call flag one time a game. I really like that penalty. One time a game, you should be able to challenge a no call, because that shit was crucial. and whether they should, no, you're good. Whether they should have been in that situation or not doesn't matter to me. Yeah, like they could have had better clock management. They could have done this, that, and the other. But the reason they were having that game plan is because they had they had respect in the officiating crew to make a call like that a thing. Now the fact that they fucked it up, I say one flag a game, one challenge flag a game, where you can challenge a no call.
Yeah, but in a CFL, if you use that challenge flag early and you lose it, it's over.
Well, yeah, then that's on you.
Again, so what if they use that challenge flag early in the game for something else, and then they didn't have it then, and that play happened? Still same outcome.
Exactly, but early in the game, then it comes back to strategy, because early in the game, it doesn't matter as much as when it's the final drive in a time game.
They shouldn't have tried to throw a goddamn inside fade to Michael Thomas on first down of a drive that could possibly win you the game, and the play didn't work. That's where you lost the game. Not the no call. Should have ran the ball on first down.
Absolutely.
You got 4 downs down south.
Yeah.
At least 3 downs, you could get at least 6-7 yards. 3 downs, easy. That's with no movement or whatever. The Saints' offensive line is not a bad offensive line.
No.
You're trying to tell me running the ball on 3 downs, they possibly couldn't have got you a first down when they was running the ball on the goddamn Chargers.
I don't disagree with you. They definitely should have ran.
Exactly.
But that doesn't change
the
fact that the call...
But you avoid that situation if you are a little smarter about what you're calling. They tried to take a gamble and be pretty, and it backfired.
I agree.
And you left it in the hands of a bad call.
And you left it in the hands of a bad
call. As a football team, if you leave the game in the hands of the referee to make calls, you deserve to lose that goddamn game.
I agree. But not that blatant.
Don't say you agree and say but. What?
No, there is a but there, because it's different. It's different when it's like, it could have been a PI, it could have been all this stuff. It wasn't could have. It absolutely 100% should have.
But it wasn't called.
In any situation.
It wasn't called. It wasn't called. Again.
But it was so badly not called.
Everybody else in the world is doing that. It was a PI. It was a helmet to helmet.
No, because there's a lot of breakdowns where it's like,
if you look at the goddamn play, the DB, if he turned his head around, he would have picked the ball anyway.
I disagree. There would have been a better fight.
You saw how bad that throw was? The throw was in his line of sight before he even got to the receiver. If he'd have turned his head, he would have picked the ball.
Possibly. Who knows?
They had blundered their defensive coverage.
But instead of that, he destroyed the receiver for a PI. No, he did not, because he didn't get called.
Basically, he did the hit. It was him taking the penalty.
All I'm saying, do you think it would be a drawback?
He was expecting the flag to be thrown. The fact that it wasn't thrown wasn't his fault.
But do you think it would be a drawback for the NFL to adopt the CFL rule and have a challenge?
No, it wouldn't be a drawback, but people will have something to say about NFL adopting rules of football that they think is inferior to their product. Or people would be like, well, again, the NFL has done a lot lately in the past. I would say in the past 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of studying of the CFL and how the CFL plays its games and how the CFL players are approaching their games and starting to. There's a reason why they're bringing the CFL guys to work out for NFL teams. They're starting to realize that brand of football is
It's a real brand of football.
It's a real brand of football.
It's good football up there in the CFL.
It's good football.
Yeah.
The NFL wouldn't be looking at that league if they didn't think it was good football.
If there weren't prospects to pick it from.
Exactly.
Yep.
So here's my thing.
Tell me your thing. Tell me your thing. I need to hear it. I need to hear it.
Again, I understand where you're coming from, but whether they had CFL rules or not, I've been in games where stuff has occurred and it wasn't called. And the coach decided it's not worth me throwing my challenge flag because I may need it later.
Yeah.
So again, you have no idea of if the CFL rules were adopted, if it would have changed the outcome of the game. Could have been the same outcome.
Yeah, because he
I was in a game with Calgary
thrown the flag earlier.
in 16. BC had us down by damn near 3 scores in the fourth quarter. I think 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. Came back, won in double OT. That's another argument too. I think the biggest thing the NFL should adopt is CFL overtime rules.
How does it work?
So overtime, each team gets an opportunity to get the ball.
Oh, okay.
So if the first team who wins the coin toss, if they score, other team has a chance to respond.
Whereas the NFL, it's like if you score a
First
touchdown,
person to score
over,
wins the game.
but if you score a field goal, then you can
I think
play.
the biggest thing that the NFL should adopt from the CFL is overtime rules.
Okay.
Overtime rules will make the game a little more exciting.
I agree with that.
Make the game a little more enthusiastic for the fans.
Yeah.
But again, even for us, we had fans who left the game thinking the game was over for us. And we came back and won that bitch in double OT.
Yeah.
So I'm saying,
No, they should adopt that.
Again,
Because like
you never
I
know.
like that both teams get an opportunity.
but you never know what. At least that's the beauty of the game of football. You never know how anything is going to pan out.
Exactly.
And again,
So like we're
it's
arguing
played
both
by
these
humans.
points.
It's coached by humans. It's refereed by humans.
And also when you watch the film, there's
Mistakes
always the
will
what
happen.
if. There's always like, oh well, we should like, for example, in the Saints game, you're saying like, oh, we should have ran the ball on first down, which anybody would agree because they were running all over the field.
Yeah,
and
but it's smart at that point in the game.
It's smart.
You got a chance. You got the ball with a chance to win it. All you need is a field goal.
Yep.
You leave them with less time on the clock, and they got to drive the entire field.
Yeah.
Now you put the onus on your defense to go win the game.
Well, I'm not
That's
saying
what
the
smart
coaching wasn't.
does.
Yeah, I'm not saying the coaching wasn't questionable in the game. I'm just saying like,
Again, that's what I'm saying. There's a
Damn,
lot
that
of
no
there's a
call
lot
is
of
bad.
variables and a lot of factors that occurred during the course of the game that led to the Saints losing.
Yeah.
Everybody puts the focus on that one call.
yeah, and
that
I think
one call is
the
not
reason
the reason why they lost.
Yeah, and I think the reason why people put the focus on one call and the reason why I was upset by it is because they fined the player for the no call. It's like, get the fuck out of here, first off.
That's bullshit that they fined him.
Yeah.
But that's just to save face because they had no idea what to do when it happened.
I know, but in my opinion, it doesn't save face. It makes it worse for me as a player. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, but leagues always fine players for dumb things that has no, like.
Also,
like
the
CFL,
fine rate is ridiculous. Like in I don't know guys that have got like
But
they've
the CFL
been
doesn't.
fined full game checks for an accidental face mask.
You know what's but my thing is even dumb too. The CFL does it. Even in the CFL, we have live mic games. Why do you think there's not going to be any profanity said on the field? You know how players talk when we're on the field. In the
I
heat
talk
of battle,
all the shit. I talk all.
with a whole lot of profanity.
Oh my god!
and you
so
say
much
all
profanity.
types of different things. So if you got a live mic game where every mic in the stadium and on the field is live, why are you finding guys for cursing?
That's ridiculous. Because like me, if I'm on the field playing in my groove, I am a. It's
Exactly.
you cannot shut me up. I'm like if
can't shut a dude up
if I'm in
in
my
the heat of the
groove.
moment.
If I'm in my groove talking, like if I'm in my game,
You pancake 3 dudes, your team score a
Oh,
touchdown.
my God.
The camera's in your face, and you're like, yeah,
my goal. So my goal as an O
body
lineman.
that punk ass mother.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
My goal as an O lineman.
Because you look in the camera and say it, they're gonna be like, oh that's
yeah.
a fine.
Nope. Yep. And that's the thing is like if you read my lips during the game, I would never play the game of football again if that's how it's. Because if I'm in my groove, I'm talking so
cash.
much shit. I'm talking so much shit to that
Talking
DN that
cash.
he doesn't care about. He doesn't care about the football anymore. He wants to hurt
cash,
me,
bro.
And if he wants to hurt me, I've done my job because he's not focused on the play anymore. He's just trying to hurt me, which I know he can't because I'm a dog. And he
Hey,
doesn't want to hurt me.
hey, I'm gonna piggyback off that too because this is one thing I did want to talk about because it did kind of get me a little riled up. But Sir Vincent the other day tweeted out in the last 3 seasons of tackles, who the stats in terms of pressures, sacks given up, starts, all that. And I'm not gonna toe my whistle a little too hard, but hey, your boy here, 51 starts, 29 pressures, 6 sacks allowed in 51 starts.
It's not bad.
2 holding calls in 51 starts.
That's not bad at all. That's good.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie.
Because sometimes the tackle will take a holding call just to not give up a sack.
Hey, listen. Most people may not agree. I got into it with Odell Willis. You old pistol grip chin head ass.
Pistol grip head ass!
Hey, I got into it with Odell because he said his 2 tackles that play for his team was the best. And, of course, it's expected that you're going to say that the guys that play for your team is the best. But, hey, looking at these numbers, boy, I don't know. Sass kind of messed me up because my 29 pressures and 51 starts, though? Bro,
you got to think that's what?
Elite.
That's like, 80
to
100 snaps a game.
It says 0.6 pressures a game. That's not even it's barely above half a pressure a game. And it probably shouldn't even be that high because I understand Derek Taylor, who does these stats, who is a great reporter, works for TSN.
Shout out to you, Derek Taylor.
Hey, Derek Taylor, you do a hell of a job, brother, and I respect you to the fullest. And he actually did ask to come on the show. So I got to figure out a way to get Derek on the show because I would love to talk film breakdown and stuff like that with him. But again, he's a guy who limited football experience in terms of playing, so he doesn't really know how to gauge.
But he does a stat breakdown.
But he does a hell of a job. I'm not gonna lie. The way he explained his stat breakdown to me, he's not too far off. But again, there's certain things that the eye, if it's not trained to see, it won't see it.
No.
But
especially at the offensive line position. No bystanders watching offensive line.
Sir V asked me to have a round table with tackles in the league. I will put you in it, Tyler, but you ain't got enough experience, so you ain't allowed to join the conversation.
Whoa!
You ain't allowed to join. You ain't got enough experience in the CFL yet, brother.
I don't got enough experience, but your boy's got the talent.
It doesn't matter if you're a dog.
Whoa.
Doesn't matter if you're a dog. Because Tony thinks he's a dog, but
damn.
Nah, T-Ball's my dog. That's my dog, but still. Anyway, I'm not gonna lie.
Under the bus fight.
Hey,
under the bus fight with Tony Washington.
Hey, next week we're gonna do player position breakdowns because I want to start breaking down motherfuckers based off of film and what I see. And I know me, I think I do a pretty good job of being
unbiased
in terms of film breakdown.
Okay.
I don't mind giving guys their due if I feel like they deserve it. But I hate guys who think they deserve a due
and don't deserve it.
And you boo-boo, okay? You suck.
Boo-boo.
I'm sorry to tell you, but you suck. All right? Again.
Yo, so next week, that's what, honestly, like, I love that shit.
Next week, that's what the whole episode's about.
Episode 4, if you're a player in the CFL, watch the fuck out.
Watch out. Because I told you 2 weeks ago, players, don't think you're safe. Because I'm going to start chopping style. Listen, I'm going to keep it funky. And if you know me, you know I keep it real. If I think you're good, I'm going to tell you you're good. If you're bad, I'm going to tell you you're bad.
What if players are like, well, you say I suck, but you suck, Derek Dennis. What are you going to say?
You can say I suck, but listen. Film don't lie. Stats don't lie. Rings don't lie, baby. So you can tell me I suck all you want, but you better have more Grey Cups than me. You better have more most outstanding linemen than me.
Damn.
You better have more all-star nods than me if you're going to tell me I suck. All right?
You heard it here first on Insights from the Locker Room. You heard it here first from Derek Dennis. You heard it from Tyler Johnstone, 2019 most outstanding.
When I asked you the first episode if you was going to be T. Watson left tackle competition, what you told me? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know that's how you really feel.
I know. Well,
and I know.
First off, I'll be any player in the NFL or not NFL, sorry, but the CFL for left tackle.
You're not going to beat me.
For left tackle, though?
You're crazy. You're not better than me, Tyler.
Sir.
I taught you everything you know. You're not better than me.
Whoa. We both learned from Bill at the same time.
Yes. But, if you want to get technical, I'm gonna tell you straight up.
You've played more years.
No.
I will give you that you have the vet.
Experience had nothing to do
with it. But you got your young blood. My traps are bigger. These veins.
The only thing you got on me is height. But I guarantee you, I got a better punch than you.
I guarantee you got more length.
My footwork is better than yours.
Whoa.
Way better. Hey, we can have a competition.
Whoa.
I don't care. It's better.
Footwear competition?
Yes.
We're going to post it on YouTube. Inside the Locker Room.
Inside the Locker Room footwear competition.
Footwear competition.
Yes.
Let your boy get healthy.
Let's
Give
go.
me 2 months and I'll be good.
Get healthy.
All right. Well, that's it. God damn it.
I love this. Listen.
I love this show.
This podcast is the shizzy, and if you're not watching it, you're missing out.
Missing out big time.
You're missing out.
Hey, we're signing off from Inside the Locker Room. Make sure to follow us on YouTube. Go subscribe, follow, like. Hit us with your questions on Twitter at Inside the Locker Room.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're going to be coming at you every single week until season starts.
Appreciate you guys tuning in. Be on the lookout. Episodes are going to get more fun. Thank you again to Jordan Kipper for coming on today.
Big thank you.
Giving us some insights into baseball locker rooms and the MLB industry and all that, because I thought playing baseball was a lot better. But after listening to Jordan today,
I thought Kyler Murray was an idiot. But now,
Kyler Murray's smart.
Now, okay,
he's smart.
He's smart.
He's smart.
All right, everybody.
Appreciate
Take it
you.
easy.